Jimbo's Garage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Well, today is Valentine's Day, and what a perfect opportunity this is to tell your wife, your girlfriend, your mother, your sister, or family member just how much you love them. Which brings us to today's video. I just think it would be appropriate for this day to make something that could be used for a gift idea, or in this case, a special occasion. So let's get started on today's video, the ring box. So I got started by going to my little lumber rack supply here. I always hang on to this stuff because you never know when you're going to need it. Just looking for a small piece of material that I can sketch this heart out onto. In this case, it was a piece of 1/4-inch Baltic ply, which was perfect. Once I got that sketched out, took it over to the bandsaw and cut the shape out. Now I know my guides are set really high here on the bandsaw, and I'm doing that only for filming purposes. If it was down tight, we wouldn't be able to see what we're doing. So that's why it's up so high. Went over to my hardwood selection right here, and you know, every time I go to the hardwood supply store, I pick out these unique pieces of hardwood, and so going through there, this purple heart seemed adequate right here for the job. So I just sketched out the two pieces that we need onto this purple heart, and once again took it over to the bandsaw and started cutting these things out. And I got to tell you, you know, this purple heart puts out some sawdust that's incredible. It is so fine and so purple, and it took me days to clean this up. It was all over the shop, but anyways, managed to get both hearts cut out. And once I did that, I just took my palm router and just went around and give it a rounded edge on both of them. I kind of wanted it nice and round. So once I got that done, I wanted to glue them together as close as I could get, excuse me, so I can take it over to the belt sander and trim up any edges that weren't exactly. You can see there wasn't an exact fit right at this moment, but once I got it all sanded out all the way around, it worked out perfect. And it's time to separate it now, and I had a bit of a problem separating this this glue, with ultimately a little persuasion with a hammer, and got it apart and just wiped off the glue. The next thing is to do is to cut out the template that's going to be used. I need to cut an insert, a square insert on the inside of both of these boxes, and so I needed something to hold it firm in place, and it was flush with the router, so I could make this happen. And this is the way I thought of doing it. Now this little heart's a little bit tighter than this, so it would push right in. Everything fit nice and tight and flush and flat, and that's what we needed to do. So there's a little piece of ring box the square that I'm needing to cut out. So at this point, I just stapled on a flat surface to my workbench so I could work with it. Got that stapled into place, and then I'm just cutting out some pieces that are going to go around the outside. That's what's actually I'm going to run the router on, so keep a nice square, true box. And you know, I'm setting these. I believe it was about 1.5 inches. I think it was 1.5 inches, maybe 1 5/8. And once I got all the way around, got these all nailed into place, that created the template for the router to run on. And by doing this, I'm hoping that everything's exact. I can cut both pieces in there, and it'll be really close to being true on both pieces. I started with about a 1-inch Forstner bit just to get things started. And this is when I took the router. And you can see how the router just runs on those rails all the way around, and that's what created the perfect square box. And if I do that to both of them, I'm hoping they'll be really close. When I try to join them together, we're not going to have too big of a problem. You know, most of the stuff I do, you know, I build as I go. As many of you guys know, I don't have any plans for any of this. I just think about what I'm doing in my head and try to make something happen. And for the most part, you know, it works out pretty good. Here's the second piece. And I just repeat the same process with the second piece. And I got to say that worked out pretty good. And, you know, it seems like a lot of trouble to go to with all this template and wood and everything just to cut a square hole. But you know what? It was well worth it. When it was all over with, everything just worked out just right. And then all the other template stuff that ended up getting pried away and thrown in the trash. But that's just the way it goes. And there it is. Both pieces cut out. You can see I had to pry that off. Now that becomes junk. But anyways, here's a piece of Purple Heart I wanted to slice off. Now the goal here is to slice some really thin pieces, about a 1/16 of an inch thick, and this is what's going to go around the inside of one of the cutouts in the ring box, and that's what's going to create the lip that the other one is going to snap onto. I'm hoping that's the game plan anyway. So I'm just cutting them out to the pieces that I need, and then it was time to glue them into place. And I found that to be a little bit of a challenge, but ultimately, once I got them all in there and got them all nice and plumb, it actually worked pretty good. I had this little block left over that I cut out, and once I got everything all glued in, I just tucked this block in there to keep everything nice and true. Let it sit overnight, and there's the fit. Pretty amazed. It fits together pretty close to being perfect. A little sandpaper right here to get everything absolutely perfect. I started with 150 and I went to 220. I think I ended up with 320, but it ended up perfect. All right, so then I want to put a little bit of tung oil. This is what I thought I would use. I couldn't make up my mind, and I just thought this would be just appropriate. You can see that that gives good protection. It gives a little bit of sheen, and I let that sit for about an hour, and then just wiped that clean for the inside, snapped it together, and then went ahead and just put the tung oil on the outside. Put a couple of coats on that, let that dry overnight. This is just some like beeswax that I got to give it that extra added luster and protection, and that's just really what I wanted. That turned out just perfect, not too shiny, and yet looked very lustrous. Well, I stole a ring box from my wife's jewelry box and just took the insert out and popped it in, and there it is. That is the finishing product right there, and I gotta say I'm really pleased the way that turned out. Okay, well, the ring box is almost complete. I've just got a couple more things I want to add to it, and I gotta say this turned out really nice. I'm really excited about the way it turned out. But because this is going to be an actual ring box for my daughter for her proposal, we wanted it to be part of the family. So my father-in-law, who does a lot of carvings, I wanted him to do a little something for an added touch to this ring box as well. And this is what he carved out right here. I'll try to get some good shots of this right here, but this is just a small piece of the Purple Heart, the same wood that I'm using for this, and he's carved out some hearts and some arrows, which I thought was really cool. So I went ahead and put some clear lacquer on this and gave it a little bit of a gloss. We're going to go ahead and we're gonna just put that right on the top of this ring box, and then there's only one thing left. Sure would be nice to see the ring in the ring box. So let's do it. So just a little super glue is all I really needed to hold this in place, and there it is. Okay, well, there it is. The ring box is complete, and I gotta say I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out, and I really can't wait to see my daughter Jenna's reaction when she sees the ring in this box. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.